Hey, it's Dawn and Janine here again. And today we're talking about something that, okay, Janine, I'm most embarrassed to tell you this. I hated, 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 and avoided at all costs and would almost have actual panic when this topic came up. So here's what it is: numbers and your metrics and tracking data and all of that stuff. So if you were panicking right now, I totally get you. Janine, why are we talking about this?
Because what you track grows. And there's not a lot of space to hide in numbers. And so I know numbers can say so much about where you're at in your business. Yes, financially tracking wise, but it can also tell you if you are all the way in, if you are totally believing in everything you're doing and you are that you trust that you can make those numbers. It
Yeah.
really puts a highlight on everything. And so that's so often why we avoid the numbers because a truth, it's part of the truth that we can't hide or deny.
Yeah, agreed. I remember when I started to embrace the idea of numbers, the thing that was most highlighted, and maybe this is actually why I was hiding from it, was I could see the areas that I was not being consistent. It was so obvious. And then it would show how it would affect the numbers in the other areas because I was not doing this thing. I was avoiding it or doing it very sporadically. And as soon as I saw that, I'm like, okay, this is horrible. But at the same time, if I just fix this, it fixes all of this, right? So it was also really exciting that, okay, that this is fixable. I can change this.
Yeah, numbers can be so hard on the ego because it's saying that there's something that needs to change. There's something that needs to evolve. And sometimes we're just not ready to do that. I know actually that is one of my intentions for this year. It was one of the speakers from previous events last year. She had said, you need to fall in love with the numbers. And so that's actually my goal this year because I have been hiding from my numbers because it wasn't the results I was wanting, or I set different goals and this is actually what I got. And I think the mistake that we make so much with numbers is we make it a judgment rather than just neutral information and neutral data. We make it mean something about us when it's just information that we get to pivot our steps. It's just guidance.
Right. Just a really brief story is the one area that I find in the years that I was coaching, especially in network marketing, is when I would bring up numbers with somebody on a coaching call, often they wouldn't show up at their next call. And that was probably the area where that happened the most often was when numbers would come to light because like you said, you can't hide. And so then emotions would be triggered, right? That either they didn't feel good enough, they weren't worthy, they were doing a bad job. And in all reality, it's just a number, right? It's just something that can help you if you take it that way. So yeah, we have to take the emotion out of the numbers and just look at it for what it is and be curious around those numbers. And if things do come up for us, be curious about that too, because it's interesting. It may also show you that maybe there's some financial blocks or the way you think about things, your beliefs are maybe skewing some of the things in your business. And you could really have a breakthrough in this area if you just remove that emotion and be a little more curious.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. And I've actually been like, as I've set that goal of falling in love with the numbers this year, I've been noticing hitting the goals are a lot easier. So what I was actually ignoring was actually half of the reason I wasn't hitting those goals. So it's kind of the full circle thing. I would love to know from everybody watching this, are you owning your numbers? I would love to hear from you. Share that with us in the Facebook group and let's start talking about numbers. Let's give it the attention it needs.